said I got to say something, baby, hand me the mic. I said I got to say something, better hand me the mic. Somebody hand me a mic, cause I got to say something, so just hand me a mic. When I need to say something, better hand me the mic. I said I got to say something, better hand me the mic.
I know some people who are like naturally bald, like dolphins, you know, from the neck down.
Really?
Yeah, like
never happened for them.
Yeah, like everything. No, but like everything's just right. Like, yeah, they've got hair in the right place. Like, you're supposed to have a little bit of hairy arms, but not like scary.
Robin Williams. Like,
yeah, not Robin
we've
Williams.
all been to like the spa and shit and seen Robin Williams, like a Robin Williams type, and been like, whoa.
Yeah, like I've got hair in the wrong places. So the places you would like it to be like a real man. Do you know what I mean? A real man. You'd want like a real thick, coarse beard. I haven't. It's a bit thin.
I've seen pictures of you from a few years ago where it was proper in there. You had a full Amish thing going on.
Kind of. Yeah.
It did make you look a bit Amish though.
It did make you look Amish. Yeah.
So you see that guy there in the middle. That's what I'm going for. I'm not going for you, Daniel. You're far on the right there.
Yeah.
I'm in the middle. Johnny, where are you sitting?
I'm saying mid to the left. I'm definitely not left, but like
yeah, like
I'm.
If there was a fourth one, you'd be in the middle of them.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, for the women watching, is the one on the left, is that too much? Do you know what? I actually don't know. I mean, I can see some figures here, but like, I haven't.
The thing that's bothering us is here, like the under boob bit. When it goes into the 6-pack area,
right?
Like that feels too much. That's very yeah.
Yeah, you're worried that he's been bit by something, you know, and the full moon comes out and that, like...
Yeah. Werewolf territory. Like, you ain't getting cast as a vampire, you're getting cast as a werewolf.
That's it, yeah. I think...
Like, you imagine you see this guy with like the incredibly hairy tummy and torso. You imagine, like, if I was a betting man, I'd bet his back there's some stuff going on.
Yeah.
You know?
It carries on everywhere, doesn't it?
Yeah. Love that, respect that.
What's
City
that?
skyline shooting.
New York, yeah. Wow.
Love it. Respect. Yeah, I'd be interested to know, like, really, like, in today's modern world, what do women prefer? Or do they care? You know?
I guess.
I don't know. Like, obviously, your missus is going to say they like it, aren't they?
Yeah.
No, well, they'd advise them, wouldn't they? If they start to say, I just bought this for you, and it's a little waxing kit or something like that.
Yeah,
you'll take
probably,
a hint, like,
probably.
Yeah.
But... no complaints, lads. It's fine.
Yeah,
I think when you're like a younger adult and you're like, you know, you want to be all like, you want to be a grown up, you want to be a man's man. Like that. Then when you get your chest hairs and that for the first time, you're like protective of them. Like, I want this because it's like I feel like a real man.
Protect them.
Like your first pubes. Like, it's like yes, I'm a man. I'm having that.
I was so late to the party on that, by the way. I think I'd left school before shit happened to me.
Oh, no.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I was like...
I've got absolutely zero memory. No memory of, like...
Well, my
them coming through.
No, I remember them well, sir. No, like the whole puberty thing, like, when it started, like, I can't, like...
You know what? That must be nice, yeah.
That means that you were on time.
Yeah.
That's simple as that.
Yeah, there's no insecurities about it, I guess.
I can see me and Southpaw make eye contact because we lived in the same world. And
I think I lived in a more difficult world to you, Daniel. I'll explain why very shortly.
Southpaw, this specimen you see before you today was not always the case. No. This took a lot of hard work and a lot of probably prayers, you know. Yeah. It was a very different picture. 16-year-old Daniel was a sorry state. I was white as a sheet. It's about 4'8", bald everywhere. Not even one of them rat tashes. Not even a rat tash. I had nothing. I look like a
mental
child.
that though at 16 that you went from 4'8" to then 6'1". What are you now? 6'1", 6'2"?
6'1", maybe, yeah. Not giant. I'm just a little bit bigger than average, I would say. I think Johnny's taller than me, I think. You look a bit taller.
I'm about on the 6.
Oh, yeah?
I think I'm about on the dot, yeah.
Yeah, I'm at 5'6", boys, you know what I mean? Let's not get into height too much anyway, but...
no, that was a late bloomer. Yeah. So,
my nickname was Pubes, because I had no pubes, you know what I mean? Like, doesn't get much worse than that. Like, if you ask, still to this day, about one of my best friends, Aaron... If you're listening, Aaron, shout out. We call him Wex. No understanding as to why we got to Wex. It was... Anyway.
Were people like on the regular check-in, like, did you get kegged or something? And everyone's like, whoa, bald.
No, it's just like,
it's
it's just like in the changing rooms, like, You know, it might have
People
been
just
might have been
having a
clocked
little-
might have been clocked once by one person, and then people talk,
like, oh, he's-
and then before you know it, you're getting changed for PE, and then all of a sudden, pubes, and then I got called pubes, and still to this day, one of my best friends calls me pubes. Yeah.
Can I tell you a story? Like, do you know that story Southpaw's just told?
Very sad story.
That is a mirror exact story of what happened to me.
No.
100%.
Whoa.
Not a single moment different. Same as you, I remember the day. I remember where I was. I remember who it was. I won't shame them because he's a nice lad now. And he was just a kid. But
Yeah.
same as you, we'd finished PE, right? I'd taken my top off and I stretched, put my arms in the air.
Yeah.
And I mustn't have realised how far, I mean, obviously my thing
Your
wasn't
shorts
out.
were right and low.
Yeah, it wasn't out, but they were far enough down for people to clock what the crack was, basically. And this chap, the little sly devil, didn't say anything at the time, just carried on talking to me, and I was completely oblivious
Just
to
clocked
it.
it and kept it to himself. The devious little bastard.
Devious little banner, yeah. And then later that day, there was, there was an echoing going round, and I was like, didn't realise what was going on. Before I knew it,
That about me.
it spread like an LA wildfire,
Fuck.
and so I got the exact name for a time at school.
Oh, I'm sorry, lads. I didn't mean to
Yeah.
pull my chest hair out and make you bring back bad memories or anything.
No,
But
listen,
it's-
we're both in decent places now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Things,
It's gone the other
things
way.
very fortunately have improved.
too much hair now.
Yeah,
Just trying to
but,
get rid of the bastard.
you look back at school and that is it's a brutal little world, that, isn't it? Because all of a
yeah.
sudden one thing gets said, and then that Chinese whispers turns into an astronomical feat.
Oh, yeah, the PE changing rooms can bring all kinds of
Yeah.
horrific situations up,
Yeah.
They make or break you.
You had the rugby lads in there walking around with the snakes hanging out, and you was like, fucking hell, like, I've got a little worm over here, like, fucking gives a chance, lads. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't.
I don't think
fucking easy.
we had anybody who was particularly brash on that front who would just walk around just free dogging it. Like,
Oh, we had a couple.
we
had a
did.
couple. Like,
Yeah, we did, yeah. Luckily for me, we didn't come from a school of the rugby, there was no rugby in my school. And to be honest, I was small, but there wasn't any giants really. We seemed to have just been the runts of society all my school. Nobody was excessively big. But there was a chap, I always remember him. He wasn't shy. And he, in the change room, looking back, I now know that he had a semi on all the time.
it's all the
time,
24/7 semi.
Yeah, unless he was deformed in some way, but it was always quite large and quite solid looking and pointed forward. So, if you're looking at a clock, it was 20 to
Maybe
3.
that's just his flaccid, mate.
Yeah, it was like quarter to 9 all of the time, like a 20 to 9. That's where it was at. It wasn't at 11. You know what I mean? But it was like a 20 to 9.
Yeah.
Whereas most people sit at a 7. But yeah, I won't shame him. But Carl, if you're listening, I hope you're well.
Fair play to you, lads.
Yeah.
what do you reckon? He was just getting a semi because he was enjoying
He was
seeing
in
the
the
boys,
PE room with all the
or
boys getting
he was
changed?
he was making it a semi to be like, I am the big I am.
It's like Angelina Jolie.
Yeah, I won't go any further, but I do, still know of this guy, and he didn't turn out,
Gay.
No, nothing like that. He turned
Right.
out, I was going to say normal, but I suppose everybody's normal in 2025, because that's how you have to play it. But he's now married, is what I'm saying, to a lady, is where he is.
Oh, good.
And
I'm happy for him. And
yeah.
I'm sure I'm happy for her as well.
And she's got the joy of that quarter to 3, But he was quite a big lad, to be fair.
Cool story, bro.
I don't know where that one was going. Like,
Yeah.
Story was effectively, I had a lad at school. I knew that. Big dick.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah, constantly half
Kept
erect.
tabs on him.
well, I told you about that one scenario I had not long ago, didn't I? And I don't even mind repeating it because I'm still shocked by the whole scenario.
What was
Is
the
that
story?
when you were kegged?
That was no
story?
Slaley Hall. I went to Slaley Hall.
What is Slaley Hall?
It's like it's a lovely spa nearby.
Good golf
Anyway,
course. Spa and that's nice.
me and Zoe caught up with some friends of ours who live over that way, and their parents are members. So we took the parents' membership pass. Me and the lads, we just snuck in. All is well. Great day at Slaley Hall.
Class.
Lovely little spa day. However, when entering said sort of changing room facilities, that I was faced with this very old-looking, frail guy, and I don't know whether you remember. He must have been 85 to 90, and this old fella, you know, was over the loo, and I went, and I was just like, oh, you know, we next to him. You're not intimidated by an old frail fella, are you? And then, like, you can't help it, can you? Like, you sat at the, you know, what they're called, the
urinals.
Urinals. There you go. You're having a wee, and it's not like a thing that you look, but you got good peripherals, don't you? And all of a sudden, I just see
you're looking.
I see this absolute like tree
Python.
trunk, and he's like 89. I'm like, what the fuck is going on there? And like, it was like halfway down. It was down to his knees, mate. Like, it was fucking. It was deformed. It was an issue. Like,
Really?
yeah. And then I saw his missus all happy when they were out. And I was like, fucking hell, of course she's happy. But yeah, it was. That was one of them moments where you come across, you know, these bears that are out in the wild, and it's fucking.
Yeah. You just
scary.
never know, you know. You're walking through the streets and like just passing people, and you just never know. You might have an absolute belter, you know.
Do you think you can tell? Do you think there is like a way, without obviously actually seeing? Do
I
you think
don't
there's
know.
a way
What,
to
like
look
the-
at somebody?
After that, no,
No.
I don't think there's.
Because he wasn't carrying any big dick energy.
No,
at
he
all.
was
It
like
just a-
frail, like skinny, small, like neck, head down. All of a sudden, boom! It was terrifying.
Yeah.
After that, there is no portfolio for me. I don't think. I think you just you either have it or you don't.
I used to think before I was sort of, you know, like similar to you, as you're an adult, you do end up in changing rooms and you do end up, you know, taking things in, let's say. And I used to think it was basically how it was proportional, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Bar
sure.
different races. That was always a known thing. But I always thought it was proportional. Like a 6'5" person is going to have, you know, going to be packing
gonna be-
things
yeah.
that are fitting to
Things
what
are
he
going to be
is.
going on, yeah.
And then similar to you, Southpaw, I mean, I've not seen that guy, thank God. But yeah, I've seen similar things where you'll get a giant man in the changing room and you're like, huh, that's sweet. Yeah, and you're like, ah.
Yeah, it's
Little
not.
tiny
I don't
mushroom.
think there's no proportions. Like,
No.
fortunately,
No.
lads, I'll be honest.
I know, yeah. Yeah, well, listen, welcome to people like us. That was the Dick segment.
Yeah. Good start, guys.
Yeah,
Nice
good
and-
start.
Nice and crude.
Yeah, we you know, we're providing a service, and yeah, we hope you enjoy it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, what's been happening? Has anyone done anything weird? Some weird stuff's happened to me. I woke up on the floor. That was an interesting one.
No way.
Yeah.
When did you wake up on the floor?
I know for a fact, like, it's not like a danger thing where, like, did you faint or something? No.
You at
Like,
home?
the last thing I remember is I was watching a documentary about Manson on the telly,
Nice.
and then I woke up some time later with the telly off, and I was laid on the floor. I don't remember the thud. I don't remember anything. I was just laid on the rug.
No way.
Yeah.
What, you rolled off the couch or something? Or you took something? Or
I didn't take anything. Sober as a judge. I just had a takeaway. I mean, I must have sat and fell asleep on a couch thousands of times, and you know, to be laid on the couch, that's not unusual. But no, I woke up on the floor.
you ever fell out of bed?
Oh yeah, but my story before you jump in, I fell out of bed once, and I used to be that kid that had. It might be the same story as you.
Okay.
I had one of them cabin beds.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Yeah. You know where they have like the metal ladders going up? I had one of them.
Yeah.
And you had all the underspace, and that was my den.
Got
under,
ya.
under the bed, you get me? There's
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
little
Right,
desk
there's-
area
yeah.
and all that. It's great
Futon,
times, you know.
futon underneath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lovely.
But look, I mean, as a kid, it seemed massive, but I guess it wouldn't be that
That's like
massive.
falling off that.
Yeah.
Probably lower than that.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did fall out with that once. I remember, yeah, and I was
Yeah.
winded like, yeah. How about you?
No, I was a bottom bunker, so that never happened. It was never
No,
an up a deck kind of falling thing. But I woke up under my bed once, and that was the freakiest shit.
Under the bed?
No concept of how, just where the fuck am I? And then you realise these are like the slats from under my bed. I was like, I'm under my fucking bed.
Oh,
What, so
yeah.
you must have fell and rolled?
Fell. The fall obviously hasn't woke us up.
No.
And I've just rolled and made myself there. That was great.
Must get under bed.
Yeah.
I've never had any of that, boys. I don't understand how you can fall out of bed and not wake up.
No.
No, I mean, my story, I woke up in my story, like, actually, I woke up, but actually, I think my mum or whichever, I think she saw a man called Richard. I think he picked me back up and put me in bed. My mum
heard the
Yeah.
thud and just like, oh shit.
Yeah. So no, I remember falling, but I think I remember being put back up.
Stop. Hold up. Before we carry on, just a quick word from our sponsor. Do you have a business? Thinking about starting one? Dash, the bespoke web design and branding experts. When you have a business that needs a professional online presence, when your current website is starting to look a little outdated and tired, when you have an idea and want to see it brought to life online, that's where Dash can help. Dash create bespoke websites built around your business and its requirements, from exceptional e-commerce stores to sell your products online, to beautiful brochures showcasing who you are and what you do. The team at Dash will become an extension of your business. You'll be assigned a dedicated team who will help guide and advise from the initial design brief all the way to the website launch. Not only that, Dash provide full aftercare to carry out any changes, alterations or updates quickly and efficiently. It's like having your very own personal web development team 365 days a year. Dash understands that in today's world, the right online image, exposure and representation is the key to success. Book in a free, no obligation consultation with one of their experts today to see how Dash can make your online vision an online reality. Just visit www.dashmedia.co.uk or search Dash Media on Google to find out more. Dash, the bespoke website and branding experts.
I had a creepy night once, right? This is something that happened. I didn't fall out of bed, right? But right, I don't know. I might have told you the story before, but I woke up in the middle of the night once, right? And there was like an arm over us, and I was like pitch black. It's pitch black. I can't see a fucking thing, and I'm like, hello? I'm like in the middle of the night, I'm like tugging on this. I'm like, ma'am, you all right? And it was my own arm.
No.
I fell asleep. I don't even sleeping on it. I was like, when you get like a dead leg, it's like my own arm started to come this way. I was pulling on it. What the fuck?
No way. Yeah. Your own arm.
Just lie there, just laughing at myself like one fucking nuts.
You get that thing though, don't you? Didn't you say you do that whole? Is it called paralysis?
Sleep paralysis and that. Yeah, I do. I've had some fucked up shit. That's weird. It's
And you're complete, you are awake in these things.
Yeah, as far as I'm, it's
you've got memory of it.
It's a weird thing. Yeah, I can remember it and shit.
Well, Marie was actually telling us about this. Your brain is awake.
Yeah, she said I have magic powers.
Yeah,
that's what I took from it.
Yeah, you
Really?
you are awake, and there are tricks that she was saying that you can do to come out of that. And it's you've got to imagine yourself rolling out of bed, and then you'll come out of it. You've got to imagine yourself pulling yourself with a rope. And then you'll apparently come out of this sleep paralysis state.
When I do it, and it's very rare now. It used to be once a month or some shit like that. Back when I was younger, but now it's maybe just once, twice a year. And it's all I can control. I'm lying there and I'm like, fuck me, this is weird. And all I can control is my breathing. So what I'll do is I'll start just excessively breathing to try and just get Misha's attention, and then she'll nudges, and that's when I'm brought out of it.
So a nudge gets you out.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
No way.
I don't know if I think if Misha didn't wake up, I think I'd still come out of it eventually. It doesn't last very long, but yeah.
Has anyone ever seen sleepwalking before?
No.
My sister used to do it.
Did you see it?
I saw it once. Yeah.
See, apparently, I don't know for a fact, but I'm sure I heard that my sister did it once or something. She probably won't like me saying that, but or used to do it maybe.
Just the once.
No, let me rephrase that.
Okay.
I'm sure my sister had or did do it a couple of times or something.
Right.
I could be making that up, but I feel like that's what I remember hearing. I never saw it, but I've always thought I think it would freak me out if I seen somebody sleepwalking. Aren't they their eyes open and stuff? Haven't I heard that their eyes are flickering and shit like that?
Fuck me, yeah, that would be scary.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, my sister's eyes were open and she was walking down the stairs, and I came out the bedroom out Beth. And she was walking down. I was like, fucking hell, all right. And then I woke mum and dad up, and I was like, Dad, I think Beth's sleepwalking or something. She's not responsive. And then Dad just had to guide her. You're not meant to wake them up because then they freak out. But apparently you just got to guide them back to the bedroom, put them into bed, and then they're all right. But yeah, it's I wonder what causes sleepwalking.
What would happen, do you think, if you just went, look at you, Rooker? Do you think they're
You're not meant to wake them up though, are you?
Why?
I've heard that it's bad for the I don't know, your brain or something like that. Might cause you some problems if you do.
You've
I
done
think you
the-
might have just leave them.
You've done the same research as me, Johnny. You've watched Step Brothers, and you've seen.
Fuck me, that might actually be Step Brothers,
You've
yeah.
watched Step Brothers when they wake up Will Ferrell and he just starts batting the fuck out of the dad.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah, that's where that knowledge is from. Yeah.
So I don't know whether
Oh,
that.
what a film! I fucking love Step
Yeah,
Brothers.
it's
You know.
fucking class, mate.
Go on then, try and read that third word. Sleepwalking or what?
Sonambulism.
Yeah. Is a... I'm not going. Go on.
Parasomnia that occurs during deep non-REM sleep, N3 sleep, what the fuck's that? And can be triggered by factors like genetics, sleep deprivation, stress, certain medications, and underlying medical conditions.
Yes, but this is Google, remember, and you're not meant to Google things, are you? But it can be caused by genetics and all different types of things, stress, anxiety, medications and substances. But I think for my sister, I don't know what it was, but she didn't do it often. I think she'd done it 3 or 4 times. But yeah, it's a weird one, like.
But you know what? I bet there's like people out there that sleepwalk and don't know that they sleepwalk.
Oh, yeah.
Like, because, I mean, what, like, okay, you know your sister. What do you think had happened if, like, you didn't clock her? Or your dad didn't clock her? Because I'm pretty sure, like, if she's just done it, I'm pretty sure that wasn't the only time in history she ever did it. You know? Surely she's done it before without you
she's
noticing.
probably done it more times than we know.
Yeah.
I don't think she does
Probably
it.
like freak yourself out though if you start like moving shit about and then like
Yeah.
you wake up and you've got your shoes on or something like that. You know?
Well, come to think of it, I might sleepwalk. Okay. So I'll tell you something. No, I told you when I go to bed. Very unhealthy. When I go to bed, I have a shower and I take with me up the stairs 2 cans of Coke Zero and a bottle of water.
Nice.
I have a routine. I'm a man of routine, right? So before I get in the shower, I pretty much sink one of the cans of Coke, right?
Yeah.
Do a big burp. It's lovely. Get a shower, brush my teeth, get into bed. I've left in the bathroom on the windowsill 1 can of Coke Zero, full. Now that's there in case I wake up in the night and I want to drink. Because when I wake up in the night, I don't want to drink water. I want
Really?
to drink Coke Zero.
Oh.
No, I get into bed, I'll swig half a bottle of water, go to bed. Now, 99 times out of 100, when I go down in the morning, when I wake up, there's an empty can and a full can. That full can goes back in the fridge, the empty one goes in the bin. Occasionally, I'll wake up and that can's been drank. And I think to myself, I must have drank that in the night. I must have went for a wee or something.
Yeah.
And I don't remember doing it. That's happened a few times.
Oh,
There's
that's cool.
evidence that that could be
When I
sleepwalking.
wake up in the middle of the night for a piss, like I normally remember it.
Yeah, I do. Look,
Unless I do it loads and I just I'm stood here talking a big
Yeah.
game, but actually I don't.
Well, you live by yourself. So if you live by yourself, you could be doing it for years. You know what I mean? You would never know.
That's true.
yeah. I talk in my sleep, apparently.
Yeah, I do that. I get told I
Say
do
words.
that. Yeah.
Apparently, I swing my arms as well, so you don't want to sleep next to me. Yeah, I've whacked many a people. You know, not on purpose, obviously. Just
Yeah.
swing my arm, smack, an elbow. You know, I sleep with my arms up. You know, like a baby.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
I like one arm up. You know what I mean? Up here.
Class.
It's my move. You know.
You were talking about. I can remember talking about in the past. You would like if you were partnered up, you would still sleep in separate rooms. Is that kind of why?
I'd prefer that.
Yeah.
You know, I would prefer that. Look, there's actually science behind it. You know, it's not just that. You get better sleep when you sleep alone. That's just a fact.
Yeah, Monday night, Dad goes out for a few pints after football, and he always
Why,
sleeps
of course he
in
does.
sleeps in Beth's room when obviously she's at uni. And on a Monday night, because he snores when he's had a few pints, he'll sleep in the spare room just to make sure the sleep's better for Mum and Dad. And he always goes, "It's not an issue. I'm just sleeping in the spare room."
I bet he does.
And like, yeah, he I don't know. It works like that. I don't know. I don't know why it works like that.
Not in his daughter's bedroom. No, Daniel.
No,
I didn't hear that
Daniel.
bit. I just
Daniel,
heard spare bedroom.
it's-
Don't say that.
It's a spare room. Anyway, I did see a video the other day. It's not like that, boys. I did see a video the other day which I laughed made off. This guy was snoring his head off in bed with his missus, and you know they have like them video cameras, night vision cameras set up in the room for like the kids and that.
Yeah.
Anyway, these had one set up, and like he was snoring his head off, and like his missus was like, John, stop, you're snoring. And he went into like customer service mode. Like he was like, all right, hi, what would you like me to do?
Love that.
And then he was just like, stop snoring. okay, well, thank you for your time. Have a nice day. And then you just go back to sleep. And she kept doing it. I'll show you the video after. It's fucking hilarious. But
Are you snorers, boys?
I've been nudged a few times off Misha, like, because I'm snoring.
Yeah, I'm a Olympic snorer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've seen them mouth breather things, haven't you? Mouth tape that you can get. I actually would love to give that a go because you're meant to sleep through your nose, aren't you? Apparently, it's a much better way of
that's
getting...
when you sleep with...
Yeah. But like,
yeah.
it doesn't suffocate you. Like, you can still breathe through it if you're gonna die.
You
But-
can literally swallowing that tape. I mean,
You know.
I like the idea of it, but with my current sinus situation, it's not going to work. I wake up every morning with a completely blocked nose and a dry mouth. Yeah, sound.
Yeah, it's fucked that like.
I know.
You're
Yeah.
getting a good night's sleep, I can tell.
Yeah. Do you know, like all that, like like snoring and all that. Like I think that does make you sleep worse, right? Am I right in assuming
I
that?
think so, yeah.
Have you ever woke yourself up snoring? I have.
I hope not. I don't think
I've
so.
woke myself up through snoring.
Yeah, my dad does that.
Wakes himself up.
Yeah.
Yeah, my dad does that, actually. I've seen that.
It must be
think-
like a man thing.
Yeah,
know?
I think so. Like he'll fall asleep on the sofa next to me and he'll like wake up. Like, all right, Dad.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm sound like.
Do you guys get that thing right when you're about to fall asleep where you feel like you're going to fall? You're like, fucking, like,
Oh my
jump.
God, every night.
I get it all the time.
Every night without
Yeah.
fail. And I was, your big jump thing like that. Yeah. The electric
Nightmare.
shock.
Fucking horrible, isn't it?
I've put that down to like, that's your body shutting down.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes it happens. Sometimes I'll picture the fall, but sometimes I just do it anyway.
Yeah.
But there's always, as you're drifting off, there's that complete like whole body, like electric shock.
Yeah.
And I thought it's just like your body just shutting down, like it's like the off switch. Like,
Maybe, yeah. Because there is like a disconnect between like the brain and the body when it like falls asleep and that. Yeah, I think it is that.
like some of them are like really intense.
Oh,
Like some of them are like bang.
My
Like
brother is a proper like it gives us away. So like if we're like watching a film on the couch or something like that, and it's like we're watching fucking
what?
I
Just you
don't
and your
know.
brother?
me and my brother.
Is that what you said?
If me and Misha are watching
Oh,
a film on
right.
the couch,
Like
me and my brother just cuddled up on the couch.
close
just, ooh,
family.
yeah. And then we'll be watching some shit like Tropic Thunder, and like I've seen this a bunch of times. I'm gonna slyly fall asleep here, but she'd be mad as hell if I fell asleep during the film, you know.
Right.
But I'll just slyly do it, and then I'll like, and she'll be like, "You're falling fucking asleep, you." I'm like, "Fuck's sake," gives us away, you know.
Yeah, man. I've got I can't. I don't know how anybody does that whole sit on the couch and watch telly.
Yeah.
Like if you sit me on the couch and watch telly, I'm going to sleep.
Yeah.
I'm going to sleep. Simple.
I need something. It's what apps are made for, really. Because I need just something just to like. I'll still be watching the film like passively, but I'll need something just to occupy my brain. Otherwise, I'm in shutdown mode.
Yeah,
Yeah.
simple.
No, I don't understand that. I wonder what differentiates a person between being someone that can fall asleep on the couch and somebody that can't. Because there's not one bit of me that ever. I think maybe once or twice in my life I've fallen asleep on the couch, but I'm either ill or I've had a really exhausting week. But I never do it. Like I never fall. Like I have to be set up in my bed and then brilliant. I can fall asleep. I don't know what that differentiation is between somebody who can just easily fall asleep on the couch.
I think it's hard life versus easy life,
Yeah,
mate.
I
That's
know,
what I
yeah.
think it is.
Yeah.
I bet you can't fall asleep on a plane either.
No, not very rarely. Very
Okay.
rarely.
I
Fall asleep.
struggle with that, to be fair.
Do you?
Yeah.
But you can sleep on the couch.
Yeah.
Now I was going to say I thought the two were related. I thought just certain people can fall asleep certain places and certain people have to be in the bed sort of thing.
Yeah.
But you can do the couch,
Yeah.
easy work, but not the plane.
Yeah. I think it's because of planes and that freak us out.
Yeah, they do freak me out. Thing is, what I've not been told before, but like with me being such a snorer, I imagine I've embarrassed myself on a plane loads of times. You can imagine.
Oh yeah, I think that's what it does for me. Like, yeah.
I know I've done that on a plane.
Well, your headphones in, aren't you? Headphones in.
Headphones in,
Out.
neck brace in, hood up, see you in a bit.
Yeah.
See
I
you
can't.
when we
I
get
just can't do it.
there. Yeah,
I think it's the uprightness on a plane, unless you're paying for the luxury seats. Like
but what's
when I'm sat on a couch at home, I ain't like just sat like I'm in an airplane seat, you know.
But I think we've talked about this before. Like, what kind of human being does it take to put your seat back on a plane? If you guys, I'm gonna say this now. We're gonna listen. This podcast ends today. If you guys, because I can't be around you, right? Southpaw's gone quiet.
Yeah, we're gonna have to wrap this episode up, aren't we?
Right.
No, I'm not that guy.
I in my entire life, right, I have been on 11-hour plane journeys. I have been hungover to death. I've been ill. I've had diarrhea. I've not obviously pooed myself, but like I've been in every situation on a plane.
Oh,
And
diarrhea
do you
on
know
a
what?
plane, rough.
I've been freezing, and like, do you know what? Right, I've been in a situation where some fucking savage, some awful bastard, has put his seat back. We're cramped anyway, right?
Yeah.
We're cramped. Everybody's in the same position, right? We just have to grin and bear it and get through it. And I've had wankers put their seat back on me, and I honestly, like, I wanted to just lean round and just temples punch him. Just that's it, but I haven't. And I've thought, no, two wrongs don't make a right, and I'll keep my seat upright. No matter how uncomfortable I am, no matter how much my back hurts, no matter how much I want to just lean back and go to sleep, I wouldn't do it. Do you know why? Because I'm aware that there's somebody behind me.
You're nice.
Right?
You're a nice guy.
And I'd never do that. And it's, I just want to set a precedent. Do you know what I mean? So like, I'm not going to be that person. There's somebody behind me that's paid money for that seat.
Yeah.
And they don't need me taking their half a meter space off them and reducing it by 20%. And I want to get inside the mind of somebody that thinks that that's acceptable. So take the mic, Southpaw.
Here I am. Basically, you're obviously okay with the people behind you. They're not happy about it, but if you get the go-ahead, you're there, you're fine. Go ahead.
No, because what happens there is you're putting the pressure on somebody who they'll say yes out of niceties, but you know deep down they don't want you.
Yeah, as long as they've given me a nod. If they're upset and they don't want you from the get-go, I respect it, fine. You found another Southpaw, they'll just say no. I would say no.
You would say
I would
no,
say
yeah.
no, yeah, of course.
While reclining, no, mate, you
Yeah.
can't. I can, you can't.
Question, Southpaw, is that point you just made. If somebody turned around to you and said, "Can I put my seat back?" Are you saying yes?
I'd probably say yeah. But
Why?
then I would then therefore put my seat back. You
But
know
let's
what I
dig.
mean?
Let's dig into this. When you said yes, because you're a nice, polite guy, you never actually ever want somebody to do that, ever.
No, not really, no.
Right. So you say yes out of
Niceties.
right. So when you turn round to Eric behind you and say, "No, pal, I'm gonna take 20% of your space off you. You know that little bit of space you got. I'm gonna take some of that. Are you all right with that, pal? Yeah. Thumbs up, like that, yeah." And he says, "Yep." You know what he's thinking?
Fuck you.
Fuck you, mate.
Yeah.
That's what he's thinking.
Therefore, I still do it. All is well. Thank you very much for the 20%. You
I
got to
feel
look
like
after
that.
number one in this life. You know what I mean? I am number one on that plane. There you go. Thank you very much.
There is something about the situation of being on an airplane that just brings out like some of the worst in people, isn't there?
Yeah. We won't end the podcast, but yeah, I mean, I don't know, Southpaw. I don't know. I think we're gonna have to rebuild from here. I think.
Yeah, let's rebuild. Let's move on then. But I'm not going to change. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like a phone charger borrower. Do you know what I mean? Like,
You don't like those people?
I don't. No. I've gone out of my way to make sure I have a phone charger. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I could have not brought mine. I could have forgot mine.
Yeah.
I can wholeheartedly say I've never borrowed a phone charger in my life. And I know, do you know what? Okay, let me rephrase this. The phone charger borrower is, if it's a one-off, I can live with that, right? It's the repeat, the serial phone charger borrowers.
Got you.
You know people
We know
who,
a few of those.
yeah, you know people who never have a phone charger, but always want yours. Yeah. I mean, there's a new one now where I've been working recently. I've been getting their device plugged into my machine. You know, like AirPods.
No way.
Yeah, so obviously being an organised man, I've brought chargers for everything. Do you know what I mean?
But you'll just have the USB cable which you plug into.
I know
laptop,
exactly
yeah.
the man who's taking your charger as well.
Yeah, and then I'll have another wire that charges my AirPods at work. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But somebody is taken to... And like the first time, I was like, yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
But it's happened again and again and again. It's not like, oh, so now the thing is, like, you don't have to worry about the phone charger situation because that damn cunt over there
Person, yeah.
has brought a phone charger and I'll charge my stuff there.
Yeah.
In my pod.
Yeah.
Back and forward from my desk. You know?
Yeah, but you work with this colleague, you like him, and I don't
And
mind.
if this is a person that I believe it to be, this is somebody who he ain't charging his devices at home because it'll affect his electric bill.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
a wise man,
Yeah.
and he steals mine on the regular when he was working over at our place.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah, all you seat put baccaras on planes and phone charger borrowers. Your card is marked. We'll get you.
Okay.
You know what I saw the other day, and I thought this was a bit of a unicorn type situation. Being from Darlington, right, there's a strong traveller community in our town.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
I have a lot of friends that are travellers, right? So here where I'm coming from. I like travellers. They're good clients as well.
Oh, they are. Good payers.
Yeah, great. I respect them. Like, they're all doing proper well in life. They all have nice cars, dress well, respectful, God-fearing people. Love travellers, right? But I saw a unicorn, right? Where I get my beard cut, there is a lot of travellers that go there, right? And there was this, like, I've seen him before around the town. I don't know his name. But he's somebody I've seen throughout my entire life. This guy older than me, he could be like 15 years older. Proper, like when a traveller gets old and they're like a boss. You can tell they're like a boss.
They're the boss of the traveller community.
Walks slow. He just commands respect. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, when I see him, I know. I give it, he's a top boy, him. I know he's a top boy. Doesn't push his weight around. Very nice to everybody. Always tips. But I was sat getting my beard done, and I knew he was in the waiting room, or in the seats waiting to get done. And I heard, do you know them traveller call-out videos that you get on YouTube?
Oh, shit, yeah.
I heard one in my ear. You don't know how to... And I was like, huh, and I smiled, and I looked, and I thought, no way. I didn't realise that, they watched them. Do you know what I mean? It was a traveller watching
I
a
thought you were
traveller.
going to say someone making one.
No,
Oh,
no. That would be good.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
I didn't see somebody making one, but I saw a traveller watching a traveller call out video, and I always just thought, I never really put that two and two together. I thought, oh yeah, I thought it was just for our entertainment purposes. Do you know what I mean?
Do they get the same entertainment out of it, or are they watching it like it's the news? Jimmy Joe Gentle's calling out.
Yeah,
such and such,
I think that's what it is. We obviously find them funny,
Yeah.
because they just sound a bit funny, don't they? They talk a bit fast
Funny
and
as
they
hell.
seem a bit aggressive, and I've heard some mint words in my time, like shite in a bucket. Remember that one?
Yeah.
That was brilliant. They are brilliant. But yeah, I watched a traveller man watching a traveller call out video, and I thought that's a bit of a unicorn. That, but you've never seen that.
No, I
No?
can't say I have.
No, I
seen the
can't say I've seen it. No.
No,
I do love their videos though. They're great.
They're great,
They're
aren't
a
they?
good time.
and
But
they
they're,
keep
they're
coming.
intimidating. You wouldn't want to be the person being called out by a traveller, would you? Really?
No,
I never know whether I'm watching the a serious one, or whether I'm watching somebody taking the piss though.
Yeah.
Because they blur into each other so seamlessly.
I once saw, and I'm sure this was done for a joke. It has to be, right? I once seen a traveller call out video, but this gentleman was calling out a lady, and he was a homosexual guy,
Right.
right? So he was obviously he's dead thin. You know when somebody's a homosexual person, right? You can tell,
Yeah.
right? He was definitely it wasn't up for negotiation. This
Yes.
guy was definitely that way inclined, and he was basically I'm gonna fight you. It wasn't that. He was saying, "You're a dirty bitch. You're a dirty bitch." And he was it was basically as if a girl would to another girl, but it was him, and it was absolutely brilliant. I should have saved it. I bet you've never seen that before, have you?
I don't think I've ever seen any of them where it's a woman.
No,
I don't think I have.
they wouldn't do it in their community.
No.
no.
Do you not respect that traveller aspect though?
Totally.
The fact that there's no beating around
They
the bush.
kind of self-govern themselves, don't they?
Totally.
Just, it's brawls.
There's no beating around the bush. If you've got an issue, you sort it out there and then correctly. You know what I mean? And you go correct. You go bare knuckle. You go and sort it out. And they always shake hands
all
after.
shake,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the end of it. That's that done.
Listen, we can all take a lot away from that community. They look after themselves, they look after the elderly, everything. They're just proper people. Really. There's a bad rap about they'll do you a dodgy roof and stuff like this, but I think that's a very, very, very small minority. Do you know what I mean? I think.
I used to work with them.
Did you?
Yeah, when I started as a graphic designer, I was making flyers and that.
Right.
Worked for a print shop and used to come in, and it would be this lad who was doing driveways, and every month he'd come back and he'd be like, "Oh, I've set up a new company," and it would be a completely new name, new logo, new everything, all the same information on it though. And it would be because he's fleeced somebody, got a terrible rep, and he's had to set up a new, and he's just constantly doing that every month.
Yeah, of course. We
We were doing well out of them. That's what we
it doesn't matter, does it?
No.
No.
That's how the world works, I'm afraid. Sorry, ladies.
Yeah, but I do like them. I do like travellers. As I say, some of the best conversations I've ever heard. Like I told you a while ago, I was sat in the barber's chair, like getting a shave. You know, it's quite relaxing. I mean, you'll find that out one day. It's quite relaxing.
Not there yet, like
when you're having it done. And I once heard a traveller like basically like giving this like sermon. It was like a Catholic sermon, like but calmly. And there was like the Turkish men were listening, like you know, like the Turkish men were sat in the seat like listening, and there was him, and he was just.
None of them asked for it.
No, none of them asked for it, no. And he was just giving this like 20-minute long, calm sermon to these, and not a peep, you know, like, and their eyes didn't come off him. They were just sat watching the traveller just giving this Catholic fucking sermon.
I don't think that's like necessarily a traveller thing, but I think if anybody started to preach like that, I think you got to be like, I don't want to upset this person. I'm just got to sit through this.
Yeah. It's true. Yeah. I'll tell you.
Mad.
I've got a few mad things, right? That I heard another unicorn situation. So I went to listen to this for a gem of a line, right? I overheard, right, the other day. Look, how do you say it? Like, you know, people from council estates. Right? Yeah. I'm from a council estate.
Yeah.
But you know the people who like stay in the council estate. Mm-hmm. Like sometimes they're a certain way, right? And I overheard a lady saying to a kid, the kid was licking the window of, right? Kids lick windows, right? It's what kids do, right? Kids put things in their mouth, right? And this kid was licking a window, and I heard a lady say, stop licking the window, this is why you keep getting worms. And, and I thought, like, I love council estates.
Yeah.
You know, like, you're only hearing that line.
Yeah.
So, like, in a certain place. Like, you're not hearing that in Midland St. George.
That kid's probably like, what, like 5 or 6 year olds? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what worms were at that point in my life. He's had multiple experiences with them. He's
like, there's so much going on in that, isn't there? Like, just stop licking the window. That's why this is why you keep getting worms. Yeah. Beautiful, right?
Used to be my favourite put down in school when it was just like, you know, you're in your bottom set maths and you're just like, here, Stephen, what did the bus window taste like this morning? Fucking, every time I heard that, fucking mint.
I guess that's a reference to window lickers.
Yeah.
Did they actually lick windows?
No, some of them must, does
it depends which way they're lent, I suppose, yeah. Does that still exist, the bus?
What, the...
Yeah.
Oh, the bus bullying.
What?
The bus bullying. There was always people who got bullied on the bus.
No. I mean the bus. Where...
Explain.
The people who lick windows.
Right.
Because when I was a kid, there used to be that bus. You would see it.
Oh,
it was a minibus.
Oh, right. Oh, I get you.
Right,
the specialty bus that would go around and pick them up separate from everybody else. Yeah. Well, I mean, that was around my day. I would assume it's still a thing. They wouldn't have got rid of that and just been like, nah, throw them in with the rest.
I ain't seen it for a long time, though.
No, I like to think there are schools now for them particular people who suffer with special needs.
Yeah.
I think that's how it works now.
Yeah.
I don't think you see them going to public schools anymore.
No.
I think there's obviously the case of the people who aren't severely special needs, but they'll integrate still. But yeah, there's definitely that on the bus. I always used to sit at the back, middle seat.
Because you were cool,
Yeah, nice.
Obviously only in year 11. You work your way throughout school towards the back end of the bus, don't you?
I never got that stature at school where I could warrant the back seat. I was never in the top 5.
Nice.
No. Best I could do is like 3 rows from the back. You know what I mean? Like, not the front, not the middle, between the middle and the back. That's the best I could ever get to. You know,
the middle seat at the back was my territory because in that particular scenario, I'd worked my way up to the upper echelon of popularity within the school,
right.
And there was this one particular time where the big 6'2" guy who wasn't as big, you know, in the world of popularity, and I was
wrapped the king of the jungle.
I was wrapped up in all that toxicity at school, and like I worked my way up, and he sat in my seat once. And I had to slap him out of it.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, and he could have battered me, but he moved along. He like a good boy.
What did you do? Just say, move down.
I just said, move down now.
You don't sit
and he
here,
didn't
mate.
move, and slapped him, and then he moved.
You slapped
you actually slapped him?
Yeah, I slapped him, yeah.
Because he was in your seat?
Because he was in my seat, yeah.
Holy shit,
Yeah,
dude.
that's
You
how
were a
toxic
bad
it
boy.
was. Though.
Wow.
That's how toxic school was. Like I look back at some of the things I did at school, and you think, God, that wasn't me. That was toxic. But you were only trying. Like all I was trying to do was fit in.
Assert your
And
dominance.
there was a pecking order, and he was below me in the pecking order, and you had to like.
To be fair, like, as much as it's not nice, like, it kind of has to happen.
It does. Like,
It's literally a thing, though, isn't it? The pecking order and the hierarchy in
has to
school
happen.
is a thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
And
it's
it teaches you lessons, I think, that you
Yeah.
do, you know, if you weren't ever taught that, you know, you might put your lip up to somebody one day.
Yeah.
And because you've had that taught as a kid,
Yeah.
that's why when you see somebody who you think, oh, I'm not touching, you know, I'm keeping my mouth shut. Yeah, you keep your mouth shut. Because you've learned from being a kid what happens.
No,
if
you go
put
there
your
to
lip up
learn,
people.
like.
It's different now though. Like it's honestly, I think the schools are completely different now, and it's all the social media again. Like I don't want to
God, I'd
go
hate to
back
go
into the
through that.
social media side of things, but bringing up a kid in this day and age is going to be simple. Like because I don't know whether you've seen the recent Netflix show Adolescence.
No.
Have you watched that? Well, I'd recommend watching that. It's with Stephen Graham and that guy out of Top Boy.
Ashley.
Yeah, I think his real name might be Ashley, but in
Ashley
Top
Walters.
Boy, he's called... What's he called in Top Boy? Anyway, he's the big boy in Top Boy. And, throughout this series, Adolescence, like, you find out the kid of this day and age, that like, love hearts have different meanings. Dynamite has a meaning of an incel, which is somebody who's celibate and always going to be a virgin. Like, and all this bullying goes on, you know, behind the scenes, and parents don't even have a clue what any of these emojis or stuff mean. And I watch this series, and it's really, really moving. Like I finished it last night, and there's 4 episodes to it. Really recommend it, but it does open your eyes up to the school that we went to, which was based around popularity and working your way up through that, and sort of still very toxic, but it was all done in school. When you left school, there was no worries.
didn't
You know
really
what I mean?
take it home with you.
You were at home by yourself, whereas that doesn't leave you now. You're low at popularity in school. You're always going to be that. Like you don't get away from it, and I think it's tough. Like for the kids coming through.
Yeah. To be fair though, you'd have been like an MSN kid though, would you?
I was towards the back
Yeah.
end of it, but I tell you what, my what was it? What was that BlackBerry one called? What?
BBM.
BBM. My
yeah.
BBM was popping. You know, lasses coming through left, right, and centre. Like, all
Yeah, but that they were kind of the start of it, weren't they?
yeah,
Like
all 5
it's
foot of us. Like, they
way
were,
more difficult now.
My like my bio was single Pringle ready to mingle. Like that was the bio, and like
That's what gets you to the back of the bus. Like
yeah,
don't you?
like that's why I deserved that seat. And not only that, I was a kid who sold sweets at school. You know, so like I was turning up, and you know I'd work my way. Once a bus had begun. Yeah, like I think I've said before.
You were the tuck shop set
Yeah, I
up.
was a tuck shop. I used to turn up on a Sunday with 20 quid, pay fucking home bargains, buy all sorts of different stuff. It switched every week. I'd switch it up just to see what the best. And Twirls always did really well. So did Snickers and Lucasade Sports. They were that was my profit margin. And I'd turn up and I'd turn 20 quid into about 50, 60. Got to the point where I was selling so much that I had to bring Lucas in, my good mate, and he'd sell a few for
business
us.
partner.
Yeah, and he'd come in and he'd take a cut. He might get a Lucasade and a couple of quid. But
That's mad that you're saying that you did that and you were still at the top of the pecking order. Like,
Yeah,
no, the kid at our school who had the tuck shop right down the bottom.
see, I think that took me to that place because I was so efficient. Like people knew,
Maybe you just
he's the
ran it
guy.
better than our kid.
Yeah, like
Born
I
hustler.
Yeah.
Bus kicks off, bus starts, everyone's on. Right, Louis works his way down the centre of the place because he's already got that middle seat. Yeah, it was great. As I said before, the fingerprint took me out of business. It was awful, you know, and nobody came to school no more with money. The fingerprint, people had money on the fingers, and I was like, fuck.
I don't know about that.
No, that came
Yeah.
in right at the end of.
It came right in. It came in
Right at the
year
end of my
11 for
school
me,
career.
and I thought, how the fuck am I going to sell sweets? And it did. It took me out of business.
So you were probably a rich kid at school because of the money you made.
Yeah, I was paper rounding from the age of 14. I was paper rounding, so I was 20 quid a week, and then that 20 quid would go into B&M, and then I would flip that at 50. So every
genius.
week I was like 70 quid at like 10 quid a day. You know, it's not tons, but for for a 14, 15-year-old, that was good money. You know what I mean?
Did your parents support this business venture?
They'd take me to B&M, yeah. I didn't get no pocket money. Since I started earning from the age of 14, I didn't get like, my mates would get like 10 quid to go into town, and I'd have the 70 quid that I'd worked for all week to go and get some new stuff from the JD store. Like,
I respect that.
yeah, I'd work my ass off to get that Nike top, you know what I mean? I had all the gear, but that was when I was bothered about brands. Not so much these days, but yeah, it was an interesting time, school.
Very admirable. I certainly never had that sort of business.
Very different experiences, man.
Very different. Yeah, no. I was the customer. You know.
Yeah.
I'd borrowed 10 quid off me mum and me nana and granddad to buy the sweets off you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Nice.
Yeah, I was your, whatever you say.
And I was making about
mark.
50p to 75p per sale. And it was like, it added up like.
We used to have the kid who would, I might have told it on here before, where he used to go and he used to steal the baguettes from the canteen at the school.
Right.
So he's like this little kid who's only like this tall. And like you take, on morning break, you would take your orders and be like, oh, mate, go and get us a chicken meal. And he's like, aye, no bother, mate, give us a quid. And like, because of like £1.50 or something. So I was saving 50p still. And he would go down, he would just load his blazer up with all these baguettes.
No way.
And then he'd walk out, he might pay for one, so he like seemed to be paying something as he walked out. And then he'd walk out like this.
Yeah.
And he's only a little kid, like walked out, just arms full of baguettes and that. And then he'd just dish them out.
Can I ask, is he in prison now?
No, I seen him at, I was taking some stuff to the tip.
Right.
And he's one of the people who was in the skips, like, sorting it out. And I was like, mate, I remember you. You were the lad who used to nick the baguettes. He was like, yeah, I made more money then than I do now. And I was like, and then what came out, and I went, I bet you did. And I went, oh, I shouldn't have said that. It just came out.
No, just natural reaction.
It just
innit?
naturally just, yeah. I still, like, I mean, that was like 2 years ago. I still think about how awkward that interaction was.
I bet there's a lot
I bet
to
you
pinch.
did. Put that car pod in there, man.
I was like, mate, just put the stuff in there.
Shit, you know.
Sort of.
So yeah, I bet there's a lot to pinch at that job. Like, it's like obviously there's a lot of crap, but like I bet there's a lot of stuff you can take from them places.
I bet you get some interesting shit, to be fair.
Well, the other week I went to the tip. It was Wednesday last week. Like,
Right.
you came into Dash and you were like, all right, all this stuff's there. Sorted out the cupboard, got it looking all nice. But I went to the tip with tons of stuff. Within all that stuff was one mailbox and one cigarette box which hadn't been opened.
Oh yeah.
And I got pally with the guys there. I was like, all right, lads, how you doing? Do you fancy this? It hasn't even been opened. Do you want it? And they were like, oh, yeah, I'll take that home. I'll have a cigarette on Saturday and I'll put that up. Brilliant. Thank you very much. You know what I mean? So I bet they do come away with quite a lot of little bargains over the years. Mm-hmm. And I did say to him, I said, I bet you get tons of steals. He's like, oh, mate, over the years, I've done very well.
Yeah. No.
It's good.
I
You
imagine
doing
there
the
is.
ciggies?
No longer
doing it.
cigarettes. I've quit the cigarettes.
You're doing it socially, though?
I might, if I get really drunk and there's a cigarette going, I'll probably have a cigarette.
Yeah.
But that's my only cop out. Like that's the only time I've never touched a cigarette sober now since September last year. So
Do you crave them?
no, don't crave them anymore. No, there was a first couple of months. I always say it takes 3 months to quit habit. I think after the second month, I was like, nah, I'll never smoke again. Mm-hmm. And then it's only when I get quite drunk and lots of my mates still smoke, and I'll just, go on, lad, I'll have a few off. And I'll just have a few off, and then if I get really drunk, I'll give us a cig.
Yeah.
But it's nowhere near what it once was, you know.
No. I still think about them.
Do you?
All the time. Yeah.
Wait,
Oh,
you
no.
still doing it on a night? So?
No.
How long has it been for you now?
Since 31st of January. 31st of December. Like this year. Like the whole New Year's Eve
Oh,
thing.
wow.
Do you know
Okay,
what I
all
mean?
right. That's just still early days, then. I thought you'd been off them for a lot longer than that.
2.5 months.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I did think it'd be gone by now.
Yeah.
Like, I do this thing, and it seems to work, right? Weird this. I did quit smoking once, years ago. It was
Yeah.
2019. On the eve of 2018 to 2019, did the whole New Year's Eve thing.
Yeah.
This was and I've realised something, and there is a relation. When I quit in 2019, I left the fag box and the lighter on the windowsill where I used to stand and smoke. And I left it there the entire time. So 1st January, 2nd, 10th, Feb, March, May, July. That fag box stayed on that windowsill. So every time I was in the house, I could see them. And I knew they were just there, right? And long story short, in the end, that fizzled out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That stayed there for months. obviously when somebody's quit smoking, you haven't got it right the first time. You've tried loads and failed loads, and in recent years, I've tried loads and failed loads. And that's because I think that's because I had a tactic of the night before when I was going to quit, I'd rip them all up, put them in the bin, right, there's nothing in the house, right, there's nothing there. But that never worked. And I'd always end up going and getting some. But same again this time. It's not on the windowsill, but it's in the kitchen cupboard. And I know that there is 20 fags and a lighter in that cupboard. And every day when I go in the cupboard, like, I forget they're there, obviously. I'll go in to grab some out of the cupboard and I'll go, they're there. You know, like, every morning I go in this cupboard and they're there. But I haven't smoked because I know they're there. Weird, isn't it? You'd think that would be the other way.
That would be like that's what I'm saying. That's like temptation right there. Like,
Yeah, I think that would be painful seeing them.
Yeah.
But like, I think what you're saying is the action of going out and buying cigarettes therefore forces you to have them. However, the fact that they're just there maybe makes you go, oh no, I don't need them.
It's like trying to lose weight and like keeping a cake in your fridge. Like, it just doesn't make
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
No.
Like when you say it, but I don't know. I just think the 2 times that it has worked, that's happened. You know.
So you always gonna have a pack of cigarettes in your cupboard then?
Well, yeah. Until someone takes them. You know. Oh, I smoke them. Who knows?
Yeah.
I was close. Like, funnily enough, it was like this morning. This is the closest I've actually been. Like, up until today, I'm on it. Like, I'm like buzzing that I've quit. But like this morning, I hadn't looked at them yet, but I knew they were there. And I just got up and I was in the kitchen. I was about to do my cold plunge. And I thought about it. And like, I had like a little 10-second internal conversation. And I was like, you know what? You're out the woods now. Like, you're out of it now. Like, you've sussed it. You could just have one. Like, and just enjoy that one.
Oh, that's a dangerous way to think about it. Yeah.
And then I went, no. No, don't
That's
do that.
the trap, mate.
Yeah. I know, yeah. Because I know that's what I thought. I thought, Daniel, you've done this dance. You have one, then that'll be the rest of it'll be just today.
Factory reset.
Just today. Yeah, just today.
I don't think I could have done it without these nicotine pouches. You know, lots of people have heard of them.
Yeah.
You know, Velos, sort of Zins. These have massively helped me stop smoking. And I think it is just that hit of nicotine because for years I loved the action of smoking in college. I loved smoking, thought it was dead cool, like a cigarette in my mouth, you know, like
it is.
You think it was cool. Even my first girlfriend thought, oh, you look dead cool. Like she even said it once. She was like, oh, I like you with a cigarette
cool
in your
with
mouth.
that cigarette.
And then it's like that's mental to think that was cool. But like I did for years, and then got out the habit of smoking. And the only thing that I do miss is that action of a cigarette in your mouth in the smoking area. That's the only thing. Going out for a cigarette on a night out, or going out for a cigarette at lunch, like it's the only. And the roll, I miss the rolling. I miss rolling a cigarette.
That's why I've never understood the vape thing. Like,
no,
like smoking a cig's so cool. Like, you know, you got the whole like Don Draper look of it and shit. Oh man, it's a boss. Vaping, you got that fucking horrible fucking black metal stick thing just floating out your mouth.
Yeah, I went to Newcastle won at the weekend. We saw that. Congratulations to them.
Well done.
70 years without a cup. Finally, they've got one. Well done. But I did see in the pub, and I laughed to myself. It's weird you've said that. I saw like I don't know, maybe 60-year-old with like one of them little square, like something Mary, what they're called.
I don't know what any of them are
called. You know
called.
which one I mean, though. Lost Mary or something. Anyway, one of them little tiny pink vapes in his mouth at 60-year-old, and I thought, God, you've went downhill, you mate. Just get a fag in your mouth.
The same, yeah.
Yeah, like that is not an improvement, mate. That is a decline. But
they do look cool though. Not vapes. Smoking looks cool.
Yeah.
I don't care what you say.
Yeah,
looks cool. It looks cool.
It does.
It's got a cool look. It's got a bad boy look about it.
Especially on the French.
On the French.
Yeah, on the French.
French accent with a fag.
Yeah. Coffee, you know, like a little cafe, a little sit down outside with a newspaper.
So are we gonna fuck this podcast off and just go get some fags then? Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
Do that.
Yeah, that's not. This is a bad conversation for you. I mean,
I know, we're going down a spiral. We're just literally sat and like.
We're changed to like. I just started saying it's cool as fuck to him. It's like saying I need to stop.
Yeah. So if there's any cigarette
flying
companies
home
that
at the cupboard, isn't he?
Oh, what?
Flying home at the cupboard, aren't you?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't do that.
Can't do it now, mate.
Stick to it.
You've come far enough now.
Yeah.
You need to just keep going.
We're proud of you. Keep going.
Yeah, I'm proud of me too.
You should be.
You know,
that's good.
I'll tell you a little story that was quite horrifying that I didn't see coming. So I've had my dad will probably listen to this. So this is probably the first time he's finding this out too. So, I've had a leak in my shower.
Oh dear.
Nightmare. The grout, apparently it's called. The grout has wore away and water can get down, the
Is
thing.
it dripping through the ceiling?
Yeah, and in the hall downstairs, big fucking patch on the paintwork. Ring Tony, Tony sorts a job. Comes over. He first came over on Saturday. He said the plan is on Saturday he's going to come, do a patch-up job, and on Wednesday he's going to come back, take all the grout out and redo it properly, right? He's just going to do a patch-up job. Cheers, Dad. Now, Dad comes. At this point, and these facts will come in handy later, I had cleaned the house, done my grooming. I was now ironing my shirts, right? Mind my own business, listening to a podcast. Nothing unusual there. Tony comes in, he's going to go look, right? Comes in armed with his, what's it called? The grout gun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Off he pops. Up the stairs he goes. Dad's funny. He always sounds cross. After about 10, 15 minutes, he comes down and he says, You're going bald, you lad. I said, what do you mean? He said, all your hair in that shower. And I'm like, oh, fucking hell. And I'm like, cheers, Dad. Like, obviously he's bald as well. Like, nightmare. Yeah, all right, see you in a bit,
Coming
Dad.
for you.
Right, I'll see you Wednesday, right? Anyway, I thought nothing else of that exchange at this time, right? Carried on with my day, mind my own business. Sometime later, I thought, I need a shower now. I'm all minging. I'll go upstairs and have a shower. That'll be dried by now.
Yeah.
So it's now 6 o'clock. I've gone upstairs, put the light on, and I've looked in the shower. And I'm like, huh. And what's happened is, earlier that day, I'd shaved my pubes in the shower, right? And there was just this massive bed of little curlies there. And I'm like, huh. Like, and there's like, it's like brushed aside a bit, like.
Oh, no.
And I'm like,
Oh, no.
Yeah, that happened. So,
At least he's just innocently thought, like, it's off the top of your head that way.
I mean, I think, like, I don't know how he's, like, pieced that together, because he's seen my hair. Like,
yeah.
and these hairs are short.
A bit longer than that.
Like, I only had, like, 4 weeks growth to take off. Do you know what I mean? They weren't, like, it wasn't monstrosities.
Yeah.
Like, so, yeah. So, yeah, Tony... must have. But he was definitely in that shower, you know.
Man.
I was a bit like, that's a bit
bless
fucking
him.
mental, innit?
Yeah.
So you never know.
Nice one, Dan.
He might not watch this, but if he does, now you know.
Thank you very
There
much,
you go.
Dan.
Yeah, sorry about that, Dan.
Well, at least the relief is, you're keeping your hair, it ain't falling out.
Yeah.
Weren't that much of the hair off your head in the shower.
Yeah, and I've got one more little embarrassing story that happened. I seem to be surrounded by these. I think everybody's done this, though. This is like a rookie mistake. So, you know where this is going. And it's around that guy I told you about, my Gandalf sort of thing. My friend from a far-off place.
Yeah. Of course.
For as long as I can remember, I think everyone's got a friend. Do any of you have a friend that you share, like sick videos with, ever?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A few.
yeah, we got one.
All of them.
Yeah. Again, yeah, it's a thing. Not every day, but just now and then we'll send each other something absolutely horrific. And just try and gross each other out with it, right? Yeah. And yeah, he'd sent me one, and I had already had mine ready because I knew, like, eventually, I'm always like, I'm organised. Do you know what I mean? I know I try and keep on top of it, so I'm not having to think. So how it goes, I'm more quicker than the draw than him. I have to wait a while. He'll send me one, then I'll pay one straight back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to win the exchange. Get back. You know what I mean? Quick draw.
Oh, you think you're the king? You're not.
No, it wasn't. And it was it Friday? I think it was Friday. Yeah, could have been Friday. And he'd sent me one. It was horrible. It was a little person doing little things, like a dwarf person, like one of them small people.
Yes.
You can piece the rest together. It wasn't very nice, let's just say. I already had mine, which was it was an elderly lady having a wee in a fishbowl with a fish in it.
Okay.
Yep.
Nice.
It's just, it looked very strange, right? Very strange. It was a very, very strange. I mean, there was a goldfish still in the bowl swimming about.
Yeah.
And she was having a wee in the goldfish
That's
bowl.
a nasty way to die.
It was a very, like, you get them wees sometimes and they're like, you get clear ones, you get dark ones. Hers was a dark one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet she dehydrated herself for the benefit of the video.
Maybe, yeah. And she looked like she consumed a lot of liquid because it was quite an impressive
Good
wee.
flow, yeah.
Yeah, anyway,
Good for her.
Obviously fired it back, thought nothing else of it, and then got a message from a customer with a laughing face.
No.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah, so this customer WhatsApped me photographs of the work he'd done. He was a joiner, and he sent me pictures of like nice staircases that he'd done, and kitchens he'd fitted, and I sent him a picture of an old lady having a wee in a fishbowl.
Yeah, but the fact that he's replied with a laughing face, like that's actually helped me.
Yeah, there are
like,
customers that you can get away with that with, and there are customers that you can't.
I mean, it's lucky. I've only known him about 2 weeks. You know what I mean? I've only had like 2 conversations with him, so it's lucky that it's gone that way. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Did you go on to go? Oh, sorry, mate, I didn't need to send you that.
Yeah,
did you?
I did. Yeah, sorry, mate, it wasn't meant for you.
All part of the service.
Yeah, and then he just sent me a thumbs up. Like he liked it, obviously. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Keep them coming.
Yeah. I am sort of like half waiting for one to come back. Do you know what I mean? Like, just add him in the group.
It was just him.
Yeah, we'll just all join the group together.
Hey, it could be worse, mate. It could be your auntie. You know what I mean?
Oh God, yeah. You don't want to repeat that. You can't follow that up with something like that.
Yeah, no.
If anybody wants to scroll back and try and find that episode, best of luck. But it's a hell of a story, that one.
That's a bad one, that, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
That's a bad one, that.
That was great.
Oh, mate. Like, like certain things you delete. Like, I'd forgot that was a thing.
Mm-hmm.
You
Just brought it back.
And you just have to think, don't you? Like, one day, just for those who aren't watching, I'll repeat it. I mean, who haven't seen the episode, what I did by accident is I sent, don't ask the ins and outs, just the short version of it. Events happened so that I basically sent a naked picture of myself to my auntie. Yeah. Yep. You know what I mean?
Yep. That's basically what happened, mate.
To which your auntie didn't mind it either, did she?
No. What did she reply again?
Didn't she?
I don't think she replied.
Didn't she go,
No.
looking good, Daniel?
No. No, she didn't say that. No. By the time, like, she'd read it, that's all I know. You know, like, it was on Messenger.
You deleted it, didn't you, before you got a response?
I went to delete it, but yeah,
Your dad brought it up, though, didn't he?
Did he? I think so.
Yeah,
no.
I'm glad I'm returning this memory.
Yeah. She'd reached that. Yes,
she told him about it. Yeah,
because he'd said, "You idiot." Yeah. Like she reached out. Yeah, she says, yeah, she's told people what happened. Yeah, nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully, just your dad and not everybody.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's on a podcast now, so like.
Yeah.
It's not going anywhere. Like.
No, it's not going anywhere.
And then in 30 episodes time, we might bring it up again.
Do you know why I see this as a bit like therapy in a way? Because if this was not out in the open, I hadn't talked about it, right? It's worse.
It's like a take it to the grave thing, and those secrets weigh heavy on you. So this is good.
But the chances are I'm going to see my auntie again at some point. Mm-hmm. Luckily, she lives down the country, so it's every many years we see each other. It's one of them.
Got you.
But if it hadn't have been talked about, now we've said it, we've joked, we've laughed, now it's going to be more of a light-hearted thing. It's like, oh, nightmare. But if this bit hadn't have happened, it would have been a lot worse seeing her. Because it hasn't been we haven't talked about this.
Of course.
So that's what I'm telling myself anyway. Do you know what I'm going with?
Yeah.
You know?
So yeah.
She's seen your fruit bowl.
Yeah. It's good.
Like you do when you take a picture like that. Obviously, you want you know what I mean?
I don't know, because I feel like if you've seen her all the time, though, at least if you want to call it embarrassment, maybe that would be the word to use. But whatever you want to call it, at least it's over a short span of time. You can kind of
build a bridge,
address it straight away and just nip it in the bud and be like, look, I did this. I'm really sorry. She can say, it's all right. It looked great. You look very healthy. I didn't see any warts or anything, so good for you. What a boy!
Yeah,
and then you've kind of compressed that to a short space of time, because then the next interaction you've already pointed out the elephant in the room and got ahead of it. Whereas now, because there's gap, you're
you're right. It would have been better if it was.
That's the way I prefer these things, at least, to hit it on the nose and get it out in the open and dealt with, rather than the prolonged thinking about it forever.
Yeah.
Which is why, if I have a night out, the works do, if we have a night out on a Friday, I'd rather it Thursday night, so I can deal with my anxiety with everybody on the Friday, rather than have the weekend to think about it.
About how wrecked you were.
Yeah. Because that's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to help your therapy a little bit more, Daniel. How are you going to approach that scenario when you meet the auntie again?
Laugh.
Yeah, but like no, like is it going to be an instant thing, or are we going to like have a nice catch up first? And you go, oh yeah, like
you could
No.
you're right, Linda. You could have sent one back.
yeah,
That's literally like that's your opener, isn't it? Like that's pretty much all you can go. Like,
yeah. I was waiting for yours.
Yeah. It's just, you just got to laugh about it because otherwise, like,
100%, and it has to be the first thing you say. You can't pretend it didn't happen.
Yeah.
You just go, "Did you like the picture?" Do you know, like, like that's it. That's how you have to start. And like, I don't think I'd be brave enough to say I didn't get one back. I don't think I'm that brave. I think it's just
you would do that.
you can't do that. It becomes weird then. Like,
Yeah.
if it's just one way, it's like you little idiot. Like you're a clown. You know what I mean? Like, oh, that's probably embarrassing. I'll just be out with it. But I think if you go any further, then it's like you're a weirder.
Yeah.
Like, I think you got to end it
I'd
there.
full weird out.
Yeah.
You must be proud of your nephew, are you?
You live, you learn.
Yeah,
You live, you
do,
learn.
mate.
these things happen.
They do. How long have we been rolling, Southpaw?
Coming up to 110.
Is that doing us, lads? Have we got out?
That is
That
a
was a nice time to wrap up at.
nice
Good.
spot.
Gone
yeah.
well.
Yeah, I think so. Scone well.
Gone well.
It's gone well. Ladies and gentlemen, that was People Like Us. We hope you enjoyed it. We enjoyed being here. Thank you for watching. Keep doing so. Send us free money, anything. And we'll see you next time.